Shalom. Our Torah portion for this week is Emor. And Emor is known as that parsha that deals primarily with the Jewish holidays. All sorts of Jewish holidays are mentioned in this Torah portion. But interestingly, there is a period of time mentioned in this Torah portion that's not really a holiday in of itself, but it is a period of 49 days between two major holidays, the holidays being Passover and Shavuot. We call this period of time the Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. Now, what was the Omer? Omer in Hebrew means a sheaf of grain. Both Passover and Shavuot were regalim, that is agriculturally based holidays. One representing the beginning of the barley harvest, the other one the beginning of the wheat harvest. And we are told that on the second night of Passover, we are to begin counting off the days of this period. And when we have counted off 7 weeks, 49 days, on the 50th day we celebrate Shavuot. And here, this period called the Sfirat HaOmer is a connector, so to speak, between these two great events in Jewish history. The first one being our people's redemption, our liberation from slavery in Egypt, and then our receiving of the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai. These two events in our history are inextricably bound together. The reason we were freed from Egypt was for us to receive the Torah. The Torah, with its many injunctions on how to live a good life, some of the things that we shouldn't do, and listing some of the things that we should do, represent true human liberation and true Jewish dignity and human dignity. Let's take a look at what it says here in the Hebrew, chapter 23, verses 15 and 16 in the book of Leviticus. Usfartem lechem mimacharat ha-Shabbat miyom haviachem et omer chat nufa sheva Shabbatot tmimot tehiena ad mimacharat ha-Shabbat ha-Shvi'it tis peru chamishim yom v'hikravtem mincha chadasha ladonai. And from the day on which you bring the sheaf of elevation offering, the day after the Sabbath, you shall count off 7 weeks. They must be complete. You must count until the day after the 7th week, 50 days. Then you shall bring an offering of new grain to the Eternal. So every day, starting on that second day of Passover, we would count off 1 omer, 1 sheaf of grain. And the way we counted was interesting. We counted upward. Now, when we are counting the days to a great event, often we count downward. Often in advertisements during the quote-unquote December holiday period, they remind us that there are only 13 days until, the holiday, or 10 days, only 10 more shopping days, something like that. But in Judaism, we count upwards. We say this is the first day, the second day. We count upwards in a way that brings a certain heightened expectation toward the coming holiday. I'm going to show you how we bless the Omer and how we actually count the Omer. Now, let's take a look. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al tzfirat haomer. Blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with thy commandments and commanded us concerning the counting of the Omer. Now, this happens to be the 32nd day of the Omer of our current year, 5772. And this is how the days are counted at the evening service every day between Passover and Shavuot. Hayom shnaim ushloshim yom shehem arba shvuot va'arba yamim la'omer. So last night, synagogues around the world said this. This is the 32nd day, being 4 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. And of course, tomorrow, or actually tonight, synagogues around the world will count off the 33rd day of the Omer. Now, I think there is another message that we draw from the counting of the Omer, and it's this, that we are to be thoughtful of our religious heritage, not only on those so-called special days, those holy days, but the days in between. That we must connect those days that seem to be rather ordinary and mundane. We must infuse them with a certain sense of spirituality and spiritual excitement. I suppose what the Torah is telling us is to make every day count, to make our lives full of spiritual significance, and to live our lives to the best of our ability according to the great tradition that we call Judaism. Well, I hope that you will read this week's Torah portion and come to your own conclusions. Shabbat Shalom.
أبا شمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني أبا شمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني